Enter the Deadzone 2 Infestation, Part 2 by Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Previously, the Enforcer peacekeepers sent to clean up a simple virus infection have stumbled across a plague outbreak. One of them has been killed, but now they had captured what looked like some kind of plague scientist. Maybe he could be used to cleanse the rest of the infection from the lab, but things were not all they seemed.
The plague doctor stood with his arms up, as Sarge had the barrel of his tag rifle inches from the thing's face. The plague didn't look overly concerned, but he kept glancing down to the comp terminal that he'd been found messing with, Sarge noticed.
What are you doing here? How many others of you are there? Answer me and I'll let you go.
The doctor laughed.
Please, Sergeant, don't patronize me. We both know what enforcers do to plague.
Bane grabbed the plague's arms and zip-tied them behind his back.
Now come, dear. No need for that.
Bane was surprised at how eloquent the doctor was. She'd never seen such an intelligent one. Sarge ignored the plague.
Face, over here. What was he looking at?
Face rushed to the terminal and started hitting buttons.
Careful.
Just tell us what you're doing and...
Do you know whom you murdered upstairs?
Huh?
One of the plague you shot was my assistant. Before he turned, he was a highly respected xenobiologist, and you shot him like an animal.
That highly respected xenobiologist was an animal, and he killed one of my men.
Sarge, he was messing with the vault. I think he was trying to get it open.
You fool! I wasn't opening the vault, I was sealing it. If you open that vault, the virus will be released, and them with it. You people have no idea what you're dealing with.
We're dealing with a bunch of man-eating plague, and we're going to kill every last one of you.
Oh, child, is that what they tell you? We eat our enemies? Armies have been saying that about their opponents since the dawn of time. Don't believe everything you're told.
Stow it, Squid. Them? Them who?
The doctor laughed again.
Sergeant, you thought we were bad. We just want to be left to thrive by ourselves. The plague are the next evolution of mankind. What is down there is much, much worse.
Okay, enough of this. I'm sick of listening to you. Bane, bring him. We're going down to see for ourselves. Eyes out for more of this guy's friends. Stripe first. Squid, bring up the rear. Heads on a swivel, people.
The unlikely group headed down further into the complex. From the shadows, many plague eyes watched, but the doctor waved each of them off. Hirako made his way to the vault to wait for them. His time would come.
Sarge, we're being watched.
I know, this guy must be important to them.
The enforcers made it to the vault antechamber and came across 2 Stage 3 plagues. The Stage 3 were mostly human, like the doctor, but still showed the taint of the plague infection. Their pathfinders trained their weapons on the unarmed plague.
Sir, Huraku said...
Yes, whatever. Is the vault still sealed?
Yes, sir. No movement from inside for quite some time.
Movement? What is inside there?
I tried to tell you, but you were too busy shouting. Richard, show our friends here the footage.
One of the plague, whose name was obviously Richards, went to the terminal and punched up the security footage. The grainy video showed a pair of teratons, which looked like giant space turtles to most people, teleport into the antechamber.
We were studying an item here at the facility. I don't know if you're aware of how the evolutionary step that you people so rudely refer to as the plague happens, but needless to say, it was disturbing to some of our less enlightened colleagues. In the confusion, while we plague were defending ourselves from the rest of the Mygan employees, these 2 rebel scum teratons decided to rob the facility.
The footage went on to show the 2 trying to open the vault door.
Idiots.
After a few fruitless attempts, the teratons used their natural ability to teleport to blink to the other side of the vault door.
Switch to the other cam, Richards. Must I tell you everything?
Richards cowered under the doctor's scorn. He typed a few commands up, and the shot of the upstairs foyer came on the screen. The view was of the plague massacring the employees of the lab.
Not that cam, you imbecile!
Richards quickly changed cams again, and brought up the interior shot of the vault. The shot showed the 2 teraton pop in. The 2 started to grab what they could and teleport in and out, stealing things.
Fast forward to the good part.
The plague Stage 3 did as he was told, and after a quick fast forward, the cam showed one of the teraton teleport out, as another started to shift a large crate away from its spot against the wall. Behind the crate, a roughly hewn passage could be seen.
What is that?
Before anyone could answer her, as the teraton on screen peered into the hole, a wave of rat-like creatures only slightly smaller than man surged out of the passage and enveloped the teraton. The other teraton teleported back in, unaware of his comrade's fate, and it was immediately sprayed with something. The screen went black.
Holy shit. Spearman?
so many. And organized?
Now you see what we're dealing with.
So on the other side of this door, there's a swarm of vermin?
Sarge tried to call for orders, but there was too much interference this deep into the complex.
At least the door is still sealed, right?
Well, I was in the process of sealing it permanently when you people abducted me. But it should be secure enough from those beasts.
The irony of the plague calling anything else a beast didn't escape Sarge's notice. But then was not the time to debate anything. Sarge had a plan. It was a good old reliable plan that had worked for him many times in the past. When in doubt, blow it up.
Face, do we have enough explosives to bring this place down?
Yeah, I think. If I can place them in the right places.
Good. Start placing them and hurry the hell up.
You can't just blow them up.
Oh, I don't mean just blow them up. I mean drop the whole complex on their dirty, diseased heads.
You people are something else.
Bane, take the prisoner and get him ready for extraction. Face and Stripe, start setting those explosives. And Squid, watch their backs.
Face and Stripe made quick work setting the explosives around every support beam in the area.
We good?
Oh, we are good. At very least, it'll make a big boom.
We need more than just a big boom.
No worries, Sarge. Have I ever let you down?
The team started to retreat back the way they came, but Face turned and ran back to the vault door.
One last present for our Veerman buddies.
Face started to plant the last slab of explosive on the door when suddenly Hiraku stepped out of the darkness in front of the rest of the group down the corridor. Face looked up in shock as his teammates confronted this massive plague stage 1. He had never seen a plague that big, even in the training vids. He was so transfixed by the plague lord that he didn't notice that the vault door was swinging open.
Hiraku, what is the meaning of this? I told you to stay back.
We cannot allow them to destroy the facility. The artifact must be...
Just then, Face's scream echoed down the hall. Everyone, even the plague, who were about to attack the Enforcer group, turned to look as a brown wave of Veermen rushed out of the vault. Face was gone. Further along the passage, Stripe got off a few shots, but he too was consumed. As the rat men got closer, their forms could be more discerned. They weren't the mindless beasts that the doctor had described. They held weapons and wore armor. This was an army.
Fire!
Bane and Squid did as their sergeant commanded, but the wave kept coming.
We can't stop them.
We can. Follow me, my brothers. Move aside, puny human.
Hiraku pushed past Squid.
You were human once.
I got over it.
Squid thought she detected a hint of a smile as the Plague Stage 1 slammed past her. Hiraku and the Plague who followed him waded into the vermin swarm and were first dissolved into it. But Veermen in such small quarters were not much of a match for a Plague Lord and his men, and the tide was slowed. Slowed but not stopped, and not for long.
We have to get out of here.
For once I agree with you, Plague. Okay, Pathfinders, grab your stuff. We're getting the hell out of here.
Squid, Bane, Sarge, and the Doctor ran back the way they came. When they looked over their shoulders, they could see Hiraku crushing Veermen by the dozen, but it was not enough. The Ratmen rushed after the retreating party.
This way.
The Doctor led the group towards the service elevator, and the Pathfinders followed. The doors of the elevator closed as Veerman horde ran at them. They heard the crash on the doors below, as they slowly rose up towards the surface. Just when they thought they had gotten away, a scratching noise above and below told them differently. The Veermen were everywhere.
Get ready, people. This is it.
Sir, may I at least die with my hands unbound.
Sarge flicked out his wrist blade and cut the ties holding the Doctor's hands behind his back. He then handed the Doctor his sidearm.
Don't make me regret this.
I promise I won't, Sergeant.
The Veermen ripped open the roof and part of the floor of the large elevator and slowly started to invade. The men and women inside shot and stabbed, but there always seemed to be more coming. The elevator started to fill with dead rats in just a few minutes the elevator ride took. The machine finally reached its destination, just as most of the team had exhausted their ammo.
I'm out.
Me too.
Well, Sergeant, this looks like the end.
The doors opened and the Enforcers +1 fell out as more Veermen flooded in. They backed away and turned to run for the exit. They entered the rotunda that welcomed people into the Mygan facility and knew the exit was steps away. This is when they saw the Veermen coming from every direction. They had to have dug themselves out the vault a different way. They were waiting for the survivors to make it this far. Just as Sarge was about to give up, a huge mass crashed through a wall. He was covered in sniveling Veermen, but Hiraku whipped them across a large space and charged the Veermen, blocking their exit. His snarl was deep and guttural as the Veermen fell under his assault.
Go, 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 go!
The survivors rushed to Hiraku's wake and burst into the light of the outdoors. Their dropship hovered meters away. Its missile launchers aimed at the entrance. Sarge shouted into his comm.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
The missile streaked above their heads and slashed into the building before deck. The explosion and fire decimated the Veermen on the first floor, and those that did make it out, the dropship's rotary guns made short work of. The guns then turned to Barocco and the Doctor.
Hold your fire!
Sir?
You heard me.
The guns turned away, looking for more Veermen prey.
We're gonna nuke the site from orbit.
A typical enforcer solution.
You could come with us.
Now, Sergeant, we both know how that ends.
Sarge just nodded and the Doctor nodded back. Barocco snatched the Doctor up like a rag doll and started to run.
They going to make it?
They'll have to run pretty fast.
The Enforcer Pathfinders, those who had made it out, boarded the dropship. As they rose up, they could see Barocco in the distance, still running. Below the facility burned, but Veermen could be seen rising out of the ashes.
If we wait 5 minutes, they might make it to the ridge.
No time. Gunner, call in a nuclear strike. The Veermen can't be allowed to escape.
As the dropship made escape velocity, the nuke went on destroying the facility and a large area around it. The Veermen menace had been stopped. Sarge couldn't help but think, if they had become this organized here, where else were they grouping up?
Epilogue. Area cleansed. Outbreak stopped. Meanwhile, in New Moon Bay, 100 or so miles from the Mygan facility, a Teraton entered a local bar of ill repute. A bartender sees his old friend. She looks sick.
Bork, you don't look so good. You don't feel so good.
The end.
Hey Jack,
Hey, Rob.
have you heard of Deadzone, the podcast before?
Yes, I have. And where would we find that?
That would be at deadzonegame.podbean.com.
Deadzone the podcast. Come to deadzonegame.podbean.com to check us out. News, reviews, and a lot of talking. Come check out the Deadzone.